This is you. Got to go now. Yeah, the city's upping the number of public restrooms around town. The feds are suing the nation's largest distributor of alcohol. We'll tell you why. And the latest person to break the Rubik's Cube record? Not a person. In sports, Mets won, Yanks were off. AccuWeather, still some clouds and patchy fog this morning out on Long Island. Otherwise,
I want to thank those of you that are watching these daily snippet of the news. Tomorrow will be the last one for this week since I am flying to London. If I get any London footage, I may add it to this channel. So stay tuned, subscribe.
And Tonley Avenue in Jersey City is really, really heavy southbound.
We're recording history is what we're doing with this channel.
And we've got one lane of the two lanes we get there blocked with this accident. Southbound Route 15 at Berkshire Valley Road near Lake Hopatcong, we have an accident. We've got one lane blocked. I've got that one live here on the 1010 Winds Jam Cam. There are slowdowns on Route 15 into the area that I've been looking at here for quite some time, so it's been out there for a little bit. At westbound 78.
The cool thing about this channel is that eventually you can go back a year or two and see what was going on that particular day in the news in the New York metropolitan area.
And signal trouble near Mineola. And there's no R train service in either direction between 36th Street and Bay Ridge 95th because that shopping cart's still on the tracks. You use the N trains there as your alternate. Our next report's coming up in less than 10 from the Farmers Dog Traffic Center. Fresh human-grade dog food delivered right to your door.
You'll probably get a blurry glare when we go into the sun.
we have more info this morning on yesterday's fatal shooting of a teenager at a NYCHA complex in Brownsville. We're going to get to that in just a minute. First, another shooting in that same neighborhood sends two young girls to the hospital.
As you walk up to the Hilltop Playground this morning, you can see police tape and then several pairs of kids' sneakers scattered on the ground. 6 shots fired into the playground about 9 last night as children were playing here, and then they were running for their lives. NYPD Chief Scott Henderson.
Responding officers discovered 2 juvenile females, ages 9 and 11, who were both shot while inside this park that you see behind me. Both children were removed to Brookdale Hospital by private means.
The children are in stable condition at Brookdale this morning as the search for 2 shooters goes on. Cops are telling us this could be gang-related and that these girls were not the intended targets. Glenn Shuck, 1010 Winds, 92.3 FM, Dean Street in Brownsville.
All right, on to the new info about yesterday's fatal shooting of a 14-year-old in Brownsville.
Person now facing a manslaughter charge, among other charges, police sources tell us, is the boy's 12-year-old cousin. It's possible they were playing around with the gun when it went off Sunday morning here at the Howard House's NYCHA complex, and police sources tell us that is being investigated. Zanetta Jennings, who lives down the street from where this happened, says it's just that easy to get your hands on a gun, and it shouldn't be.
These kids don't even get to see 21 no more now.
She says she never lets her 10-year-old son out alone. Mac Rosenberg, 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM in Brownsville.
A 25-year-old New Jersey man is accused of stabbing his own mother to death. The Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office says this happened at the home of 61-year-old Loretta Parody while she was asleep. Her son Robert now looking at murder and weapons charges. In what could be the first such law in this country, Governor Hochul and state lawmakers have reportedly reached a deal on a bill to regulate social media use by children. Tech analyst Ian Scher says this would restrict social media companies from using what many say are addictive algorithms.
Free speech advocates will often argue that the answer to bad things and hate speech and all of this other stuff is more good speech. And that would be true if not for these algorithms that put a finger on the scale, drowning out any legitimate conversation and effectively give people acting in bad faith the loudest megaphones.
Well, the bill also reportedly bans big tech from profiting off the data of those under 18. The Wall Street Journal says state lawmakers should vote on the measure this week. Researchers in Britain testing the world's first vaccine for a deadly form of skin cancer.
An mRNA cancer vaccine for melanoma has cut in half the risk of patients dying or the skin cancer returning. Speaking as phase 3 trials got underway here in the UK last month, team leader Paul Lorigan said the vaccines should also work against other cancers.
There's a potential here for a really transformative change in how we treat treat patients with cancer.
Moderna presenting the latest results at the world's biggest cancer conference in Chicago.
That's Vicky Barker. 10-10 wins sports with the Yankees off. The Mets had the local baseball stage all to themselves and barely avoided a national nightmare.
Yeah, Susan, an amazing roller coaster ride in Washington saw the Mets up 1-0, then 3-1, down 4-3, ahead 7-4 in the fifth inning. And later 8-5 in the bottom of the ninth before the guy who gave up Sunday's game nailed this one down.
Diekman sets at the belt. Here's the pitch. Runner goes from first. It's in there. Strike three called. Put it in the box. Diekman and the Mets survive.
Now he rose on WCBS's Jake Diekman saved an 8-7 win for Carlos Mendoza's club.
It was good to see him bounce back, especially after the outing yesterday, and then coming in with the bases loaded, got behind 3-0, but you know, he's been in this league for a long time, so a hell of a job, especially after the outing that he had yesterday.
Mets have won 3 of 5, but they're still 10 games under 500. Mark Renee, 1010 Wins Sports on 92.3 FM.
All right, good looking day, 69 degrees, sunny skies now. We're heading up to 78 in Central Park. Now Bloomberg Money Watch on 1010 Wins with Steve Potusk.
There's a factory building boom in this country, Susan, but it's found mostly down south. According to the Commerce Department, factory construction has more than doubled in the 2 years ending in April to more than $18 billion. Now, states in the south accounted for nearly 2/3 of the increase. Meanwhile, the biggest percentage decline occurred in the mid-Atlantic, which includes New Jersey, New York, and Pennsylvania. Now, Delta Airlines will resume flights to Israel this week after it suspended flights between JFK Airport and Tel Aviv back in October following the Hamas attack on Israel and resulting war. The carrier joins United Airlines in resuming flights to Tel Aviv. Now, Delta says daily nonstop service begins on Friday following a risk assessment. After the Dow lost ground yesterday, but the NASDAQ...
There's the blurriness.
Futures not rising. They're down 23 points. NASDAQ down 65. Dow futures now down 154. Bloomberg Money Watch at 26 and 56 past every hour. I'm Steve Potusk for 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me in this quick snippet of the news for, what is it, June 4th, 2024. Keep in mind that I do know this is not the most exciting video, the most entertaining video. As you see, it gets blurry there. But I feel it's important to document our local history in terms of our daily snippets. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you'll check out some of the future videos, some of the driving videos that I will be doing on the channel. And we'll see you on the next video.